And so there's really something to be said about what exactly it is you're putting out there, and does it mesh, and does it go somewhere, and is there a point to it? I mean, we spend so much time, well, all this time and creative energy we put into creating these pieces of brand equity. And I guess my question for you is why? Like, is there a point? Because, oh my goodness, there should be a point. I can hear my father's voice in my head, where if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. In fact, he would occasionally would add, if it's worth doing well, it's worth overdoing. But there's also this, if it's not worth doing well, it's not worth doing at all. So part of that, like, it was always like, take pride in your work, and don't stop until it's really well done and you're proud of it, and it, if it had your name, that's okay. Like, you're excited to put your name on it. Hello, Diane. Good afternoon from Colorado. Good afternoon from Utah. It's nice to see you. So I can hear his voice thinking, if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And I totally believe that. And that's how I've lived my life, I hope. But the other part of that is, I guess I could translate that into have a point, right? If you're not just do it well so it shows up and it's pretty and it's done and it's timely and all those things, but like, what does that actually look like? Is there a point to some of this brand equity that you're creating? And when I say brand equity, those of you in League of Legends know what that is, and a lot of you who have heard me speak before understand what brand equity is. But it's, your brand equity is all those pieces that comprise your brand. It's marketing collateral. It's your voice. It's all those things that are help you share your message and put it out there. So it's not just your coursework, although it includes that. It's your social posts, it's your banners, it's your website, it's all those things, right? So as I look through, everybody has all this brand equity that they're creating because we're told, hey, Catherine, nice to see you. We're told that we need these things. We have a newsletter because we should. We have a website because we should. We post on social because we should. But if you're just going through the motions, if you're doing it halfway, if you're doing it without the end in mind, if you're doing it without your ideal client in mind, then why? Why are you bothering? If it's not worth doing really well, it's not worth doing at all. So, what exactly is your brand equity saying about you? And where is it taking your people? So, for example, first thing I would look at is like, I was asked last night, I was speaking, and I was asked, is this a really great time to rebrand? And I realized it's always a good time to review your brand. Whether you rebrand or not is completely up to you. If what you still have works and what you still have fits, then go forward, up the voltage, turn it up to 11. But if it doesn't fit, let's fix that. Let's adjust that. Make sure it does fit. So the first thing I would think I would ask you to look at is, how is your brand equity showing up? Like, for example, if you have an opt-in and you've spent a lot of time on it, it shares your message, it shares all those things that are in your head. Where is that going and why did you put it out there? Is the whole point of an opt-in to get them onto your email list so you can start sending them your newsletter? Um, are you trying to establish authority? Are you trying to call them in and then look at your opt-in and go, wow, she really knows her stuff. I should call her for more. There's no wrong answer. There's no wrong answer here. I'm just asking you, what's the point? You should have one. If you put time into making this and energy into making an opt-in, you should have a point. What do you want them to do? Where is it driving, right? And if it doesn't have a point to it, then don't put it up. Don't bother. If you don't have something that you want to create with it and something you want it to do, then don't bother with it. But more than that, if you spend all this time making it and it sounds really polished and really beautiful and somebody opts in and downloads it, does it sound like you? And not just the words you would use, I mean, your tone, your voice, all those things that show up as your persona. This is a really great time to not just say, here's an opt in so I can send you my stuff for the newsletter. This is a really fabulous opportunity for you to say, not only do I have an authority, but this is kind of a taste test for them, right? This is an opportunity for people who don't know you or who met you at an event and want to get to know you better. They're going to just check in on you and see if you're good people. This is a really great opportunity for your persona to turn up to 11. This is a chance for you to show your personality, not just your authority. Yep, I know my stuff. Here's my list. How do you talk? How are you speaking to them? Is it informal? Is it from an authoritative perspective. Like, this is your opportunity to show up as you. Put your picture on it. Um, have have personality kinks and quirks in there so they understand. Not just did they get onto your newsletter, but now they know what to expect in your newsletter. And not just they know you're an authority in that subject, but they understand completely and trust your authority in that subject. Your opt in is a really great place for them to start with that. Now, that's just your opt in, but everything you're creating, your social banners, your courses, your workshops, all those pieces of equity that you're creating, how are you showing up? How is your persona? Because this is a perfect time for you to really just put it out there. I mean, I know there's been an opportunity in the last 90 days. Yes, it's been 90 days as we are experiencing this pandemic and experiencing sheltering in place and being super careful and being non-traveling, non-meeting in groups. It's a really great opportunity for people to kind of look at your business and go, is this really what I want? And if it's the majority of it is what I want, is it everything I want? How do I tweak this? So take a moment to look at those pieces and say, okay, if this is the first time someone sees me, what do they know about me when they get done? And if it's not the first time someone sees me, what is the first time someone gets an opportunity to see me? Let your persona shine. Make sure that as you're showing up in all of your equity, that you're speaking and you're sharing your message like you would in person. Now I realize if you are speaking to 1,000 people, like a great big arena, and there's 1,000 or 10,000 people, it's a little bit different than if you were sharing this one-to-one or with a small group. But your message should be the same, and your personality, your persona, absolutely should be the same. There's one of those things that, and we'll talk about this a little bit later, like you don't want to confuse them by saying, this is my opt-in and this is how I'm showing up to my opt-in. And they actually get to meet you in a Zoom call and you're like, oh, well, that wasn't you at all. It gets a little, it's not quite bait and switch, but kind of like that. So how are you showing up in make sure your voice is coming through, your tone is coming through in all of your brand equity. The next thing I would tell you about your equity is you get an opportunity to call in your ideal partners, your people that you truly want to work with, whether that is as vendors, as joint venture partners, as clients. This is your opportunity to say, this is who I am and this is what I'm looking for. And is this you? Your equity should not just be selling for you, but it should help sort for your best possible opportunities to partner. So I shared this story last night as well, so I'm going to share it again. But when I was listening to the radio, and which I don't often do, but for some reason I had the radio on this weekend. In a course of 15 minutes, I heard 4 different dealership ads, 4 different car dealerships. And every single one of those different dealerships was talking about their financing options, their discounts. They were offering, you don't have to pay for 4 months. They were offering 0% interest on their loans, like all these things. It was all having to do with this is the time to pay less than you would. This is the time to get a really smoking deal and then not pay for it for 4 months. Who do you think they're calling in with that? They didn't talk once about the cars. They didn't talk about how the cars would last forever. They didn't talk about the safety models, the, I mean, and partially, I guess, because they're all selling the same kind of car. I mean, it's got 4 wheels, 4 doors, let's go, or 4 wheels, 2 doors, let's go. But it was all about the money and it was all about the discount that they were offering you. I don't know if you've ever had an opportunity to experience looking into buying a Tesla. Those of you who own them, those of you who have talked about them or have heard about it, Tesla doesn't advertise on the radio. Tesla has a website, and you can go on and say, this is the car I want. Here's all the extras. And they say, they're awesome. There's the price. You give them the money, they give you the car. Period. There's no haggling. There's no negotiating. There's no, it's February, let's do this discount. There's no Black Friday discounts. There's no, it's springtime. There's no COVID discounts. This is the car. Do you want to buy it or not? Now, who do you think they're calling in? The people who show up on a Tesla website, the people who show up on a Tesla lot aren't looking for a deal. they are looking for the great car, and whether that's because they want the status symbol or if they're worried about the environment, whatever it is driving them, a discount isn't what they're coming for. But these other dealerships, they are calling in people who want discounts, coupons, whatever. Again, there's no wrong answer, there's no shame or blame in that, but your vocabulary matters. Are you either intentionally or accidentally calling in people from the cheap seats? Are you inviting 20 bucks the hard way clients into your space? I would tell you, I would challenge you, I would invite you, I would encourage you. Oh my gosh, go do it. Double check everything you're putting out there, because all of your brand equity, again, not only do you want to sell pieces of that, your courses, your book, your workshops, but this is an opportunity for people to really get to know you and understand how you work. Are you offering people discounts by accident? Are you telling them that this is the best time ever? This is beta, so it's cheaper. Are you telling them it's pandemic pricing, so it's cheaper? There's nothing wrong with that, but just be aware that when you get people kicking tires and seeing who you are, if you have put out there that you're open to discounts, they're looking for discounts. They're looking for a deal. If you talk about the value that you provide, if you talk about the results that you cause, if you talk about the benefits of working with you and how you are uniquely qualified to resolve their concerns, that's why they come into your space. So you get to, right from the very beginning, right from your opt-ins, right from your social posts, you get to decide who you want to let into your space. If you're, if you are working with startups, if you're working with business owners that are just getting going, maybe that's a concern. But if you make it about the money, so will they. And if you make it about the benefits, so will they. So go through your brand equity pieces, your opt-in, your coursework, your social, your newsletters, your website, and decide who it is you actually want to call into your space, because now is a perfect time to be super, super picky about that. The last thing I would invite you to look at with your brand equity is, where are you taking them? Now more than ever, your brand is about creating an experience, and not just one experience fits all, but it is an opportunity for you to offer your potential ideal partners, your ideal clients, a personal journey with you, an experience that is all about them and the way they need it. So look at your brand equity, look at your funnel, look at the path that you want to guide them on. Is every piece of your equity taking them somewhere? Is every piece of your equity making them feel cozy here, and this is what you have here, and then here's the next thing, and then here's the next thing, and not in a gotcha sales funnel that keeps them tied in and makes them frustrated by the end of that? But is it a natural progression to where you want them to go? And not just everybody who comes in needs to become a client, because that's not true at all. You're going to have people come in at an opt-in level or a I just saw you on social level that are not your ideal clients. Guaranteed stinking to you, right? That's the whole point. So not only is it a let me create this path for you, this is a really great way for you to sort. And so that by the time they get to the end of the road, they are so yours and you are so excited to work with them. But if you are just throwing stuff out there and it's great authority piece, or it's a great positioning piece, it's a great persona piece, if it's not taking them somewhere, then that's exactly where they're going to go. Nowhere. So where to go? What do you want them to do each step of the way? Help create that journey for them. Help them understand that path and what it looks like to work with you every step of the way. That's how you end up creating a business that is fulfilling and profitable and fun. And you get to actually make money doing what you love, doing it your way, working with people that excite you. I mean, that's what becoming legend is all about. That's what building a brand that makes you unforgettable is all about, is being able to get there faster your way. So take a look at those things and decide what exactly it is. You put all this time into creating that brand equity. Is there a point? Is it going somewhere for you? Is it going somewhere for them? Again, no wrong answer. But if it's worth doing, it's worth doing well. And if you're going to tell a story, have a point, right? I encourage you to look at that. This is a really great opportunity for you to review every single piece of your collateral if it's still serving you or not, if there's a point to it, if it's worth doing, and if it's worth overdoing, if it's worth doing really, really well. So I encourage you to look at that and decide what it is you want and claim it. Make sure it's working for you. It's yours. It should work for you. So until I get to see you again in person, rock on.